being a minority in Hollywood is tough. You don't wait on Hollywood. Hollywood is a bank, and the decision makers don't get the content.
And we'll just get to the point where we get tired of it, and someone will come out and be the sacrificial one.
I heard all this Oscar talk about Samuel Jackson and Miss John Travolta, but to me, the real story is about them two sweet little hillbillies that made passionate love to that big black man.
Being a minority in Hollywood is no easy feat. You can't rely on Hollywood's whims. It's like a bank where the decision makers don't grasp the value of the content they overlook. This struggle breeds frustration, and eventually, someone ends up as the sacrificial lamb. While Oscar buzz surrounded Samuel Jackson and John Travolta, the real narrative to me was about those two sweet hillbillies who made passionate love to that big black man.
I heard all this Oscar talk about Samuel Jackson and Miss John Travolta, but to me, the real story is about them two sweet little hillbillies that made passionate love to that big black man.
The Wayans brothers, once a staple on our screens, have been noticeably absent for a while, sparking questions about their whereabouts and what they're up to. Various theories have been circulated to explain their departure. One suggests that Hollywood chose to overlook them in favor of better actors. Another theory claims their shows lost patronage and ratings, deterring investors from supporting their work. While these theories may hold some truth, a key incident on the set of Saturday Night Live seems to be the straw that broke the camel's back. Rumors suggest that one of the brothers provoked a few Hollywood producers in a now infamous SNL scene, effectively marking their exit from the film industry. I've heard Oscar talk about Samuel Jackson and John Travolta, but to me, the real story was about those two sweet hillbillies making passionate love to that big black man. What was this scene? And is there any truth to the rumor? Stay tuned as I unravel the intricate details behind the Wayans brothers' departure from our screens. Damon didn't agree with the sentiment, as he explained during a 2015 interview on The Breakfast Club. He stated, "Lorne Michaels was trying to, he thought, protect me from being compared to Eddie Murphy. And I'm like, look, you give me the ball or let me go. Fire me from the team." However, in his book, Homie Don't Play That, the story of In Living Color and the Black Comedy Revolution, David Peisner revealed that Murphy had actually given Wayans the following advice before his SNL debut. Don't get integrated into the cast. If you want to stand out, write your own sketches. Even if you only do one sketch, make sure it's centered around you. Otherwise, you get sucked in and become Garrett Morris. For those who may not know, Garrett Morris was the first black actor cast as a member of the Saturday Night Live show. He was often relegated to minor roles, while actors like John Belushi, Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, and Dan Aykroyd took on prominent roles that propelled them into the spotlight. Taking Murphy's advice to heart and not wanting to be another Garrett Morris, Damon did all he could to stand out. He pitched various sketch ideas weekly, only to see them rejected. Instead, he was assigned smaller roles, sometimes with no lines at all. Recalling some of these roles, Damon said, "They had me in scenes where I would just hold a spear. I'm like, I'm not doing that. My mother's going to watch the show. No lines, just holding a spear and a thong. I can't do this." I said, "Y'all need to hire an extra for this." The show's producers accused him of not being a team player, but Damon responded, "No, I'm just not a slave." Recalling some of these roles, Damon said, "They had me in scenes where I would just hold a spear. I'm like, I'm not doing that. My mother's going to watch the show. No lines, just holding a spear and a thong. I can't do this." I said, "Y'all need to hire an extra for this." The show's producers accused him of not being a team player, but Damon responded, "No, I'm just not a slave." Damon's frustration with being cast in minor roles, sometimes without speaking lines, grew steadily, creating tension with the show's producers. The ratings began to decline, adding further pressure on the producers to make the show successful again. This pressure only intensified when Damon voiced concerns about the lack of diversity on set. Feeling undervalued and underused, Damon intentionally stirred up tension in the studio. Comedy is tension, but then you break the tension, and that's where the laugh comes, Damon said. Things came to a head when Damon was cast as a police officer in a skit titled Mr. Monopoly, a parody of the drama series Miami Vice. In rehearsal, Damon wore a suit similar to what Crockett and Tubbs wore on the show. The producers rejected this and insisted he wear a police uniform. This disagreement led Damon to sabotage the show. During the live taping, Damon played his character as an exaggeratedly effeminate stereotype, a choice that shocked everyone and wasn't in the script. The scene fell flat, and the lack of laughs threw the entire show off. Damon later explained, "I was angry, and that's why it wasn't funny." He was promptly fired, but this did not surprise anyone, including Damon. Despite the setback, Damon didn't give up. He teamed up with his brother Keenan to create the sketch comedy show In Living Color, which quickly became a hit. The show garnered impressive ratings, bringing joy to many, especially Damon Wayans. Finally, he had found a stage to showcase his talent and refine his skills alongside his older brother Keenan. Damon became the star of this sketch comedy show, which became a pop culture phenomenon in the 90s. "All the stuff I was trying to do on Saturday Night Live was stuff I was able to do on In Living Color," he later remarked. However, disappointment awaited the Wayans brothers. After 3 years and 5 successful seasons, the show was abruptly canceled, leaving the Black community disheartened, as the show they had embraced was taken away without explanation. Despite this setback, Damon didn't give up. He teamed up with his brother Keenan to create the sketch comedy show In Living Color, which quickly became a hit. The show garnered impressive ratings, bringing joy to many, especially Damon Wayans. Finally, he had found a stage to showcase his talent and refine his skills alongside his older brother Keenan. Damon became the star of this sketch comedy show, which became a pop culture phenomenon in the 90s. "All the stuff I was trying to do on Saturday Night Live was stuff I was able to do on In Living Color," he later remarked. However, disappointment awaited the Wayans brothers. After 3 years and 5 successful seasons, the show was abruptly canceled, leaving the Black community disheartened, as the show they had embraced was taken away without explanation. Fox Broadcasting's decision to rerun episodes of In Living Color instead of airing new ones marked a turning point for the show. The network had an agreement with the Wayans brothers, granting them ownership of the series for several years. Anticipating that ownership would soon revert to the Wayans, Fox's rerun decision risked alienating fans and damaging the show's ratings. This was a heavy blow to the Wayans and a bitter disappointment to the Black community. Keenan Wayans expressed his frustration and disappointment when Fox executives informed him on a Friday night that reruns would start airing the following Monday, leaving little time to object. Fox executives attempted to tarnish the image of Black producers and actors in Hollywood by spreading rumors, claiming that Keenan Wayans had screamed at everyone when told about the reruns. Keenan refuted this, saying, "I've never screamed in my life. I'm too young to have a stroke." They also accused him of hiding a new episode, necessitating the reruns. After days of conflict, Wayans left the show for good, stating, "It was the most difficult thing I've ever had to do, but I had to. I couldn't condone what they did." Keenan's brothers Marlon and Damon, who had no contracts with Fox, followed suit, as did Sean Wayans and their sister Kim. With the Wayans gone, the show began to take on a distinctly white tone, struggling to produce sketches relatable to the Black community. Keenan saw this as a travesty, saying, "It always was comedy from an African-American point of view, but now they have all white consultants. There's a fine line between African-American humor and making fun of African-Americans." Despite these setbacks, the Wayans found success in producing their first comedy horror film, Scary Movie, written by Marlon and Sean, and directed by Keenan. The film parodied multiple genres, exceeding expectations and grossing $278 million from a $19 million budget. The arrival of the Wayans marked a significant moment. Their ascent to stardom was solidified with the success of Scary Movie, garnering them global recognition and demonstrating the potential of a project led by Black talent when given the chance. This triumph paved the way for a sequel in 2001, which parodied supernatural and haunted house genres. Though it didn't quite match the original's heights, it still managed to double its budget, grossing $141 million against a $41 million investment. However, the film faced criticism, with outlets like CNN denouncing it as a vaudeville sketch, pandering to the lowest common denominator. The release of a third installment, 2 years after the original, lacked the involvement of any Wayans family members, leaving fans puzzled about the sudden absence. It seemed the Wayans were once again deprived of the fruits of their labor. Marlon Wayans revealed that Harvey Weinstein and his brother Bob had essentially stolen their franchise, disrupting their trajectory. Determined to counter the prevailing notion in Hollywood that Black-centric productions were unmarketable, they regrouped to create new projects. Yet, they encountered formidable obstacles within the industry, resulting in the loss of nearly all their endeavors, including the beloved sitcom Wayans Bros. The show, featuring Marlon, Sean, and John Witherspoon, resonated deeply within the Black community, chronicling the lives of two contrasting brothers and their penny-pinching father. Despite its success on WB, it was unceremoniously axed without a proper conclusion, leaving fans to speculate whether contractual disputes or the perceived notion that Black-led shows lacked profitability were to blame. Despite these setbacks, the Wayans continued to make their mark through individual ventures. Yet, one can't help but wonder what greater heights they could have reached, if not for the harsh realities of Hollywood's fickleness. What do you think about all these Hollywood terminations? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to click the subscribe button for more from us.